Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katherine and today we're going to be talking about my experience at a come and see, specifically with the Sisters of Life, but in general, a come and see retreat where you get to discern your vocation to the convent. So this video is specifically for women. The discernment to the priesthood, I know absolutely nothing about that because I will never be discerning that. The next portion is going to be little clips I took before the come and see retreat and right after the come and see retreat. Then I'll have a little commentary section at the end about why me specifically, Katherine, chose to discern with the Sisters of Life. All right, so let's talk about where to start. A come and see retreat is exactly what it sounds like. You live with the sisters for a few days. I mean, other orders, it might be a few weeks, a few months. I don't exactly know, but specifically with the Sisters of Life, I was there for 3 nights and 4.5 days. How you sign up for a come and see retreat with a convent is you need to reach out to them. This was a huge misconception by me. I always thought you had to be invited on a come and see retreat, which is why I never went on one. I always thought you had to be invited, and I'm like, if I ever am invited, I will go on a come and see retreat. Little did I know, all I had to do was to go on the Sisters of Life's website and fill out a vocational inquiry form. That's all you have to do. Hey you guys, I'm just popping in with a little editor's note at this point. I just want to point out that I found the Sisters of Life and I got invited through the web form. That's not necessarily always the case for everyone. And just because you fill out the web form does not mean that you will be asked to come on a come and see retreat. There's hundreds of women who fill out the web form or have this talk with the vocational director of the Sisters of Life. That does not necessarily mean that you will be asked to come on the come and see retreat. There might be several reasons, like you realize it's not a good fit, you find a boyfriend, or it's just not the right time. Maybe you'll discern in a year or two, or blah, 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 blah. So just because you fill out the web form or what have you does not mean you will be asked to be on the come and see retreat. This is not like an automatic thing. So if you are discerning any convent, any order of nuns, any order of sisters, go on their website and see what you need to do to go on a come and see retreat. After I filled out the vocational inquiry form, I almost immediately got a response from the sister in charge of vocations. She and I had an hour-long conversation about me and my spiritual journey. And at the end of the call, she invited me to come on the come and see retreat. Definitely, if you are discerning joining a convent, definitely talk to either a spiritual director or a priest that really knows you. I think it's very important that you don't just walk up to random priests and ask them, oh, what should I do? I mean, you can do that. I just think it's so much better if you have a personal relationship with the priest to talk to him about where he might see you joining an order. Because again, your priests, like the parish priests, are your father. Talk to father about where he might see you. I personally talked to I think 2 or 3 priests about my decision to even just go on the come and see. And one of the priests that I talked to, I said, am I too old? Am I too old at 29 years old to be going on a come and see? And he said no. He had a female friend who joined the Sisters of Life at age 32. So things like that just gave me a little reassurance that, okay, I'm all good. Do research. If you are really into teaching, if you really want to be a teacher, then look up a teaching order, like say the Dominicans. During the come and see retreat, you do get to live a little bit like a sister for a couple of days. You get to talk with the sisters, interact with the sisters, interact with the postulants. You would wake up, you would have morning prayer, you would have mass. There would be obviously an opportunity for confession. There was time for recreation. There was so much time spent before the Blessed Sacrament, which is not everyone has, the sisters are so blessed. The sisters are so blessed because not everyone has access to the Blessed Sacrament every single day. Right? During these few days that you spend with the sisters, a lot of it is about you and your relationship with God. It's really special to just take these days and just pray for yourself, pray for your future, pray for your vocation. Because so often I find on retreats or any kind of prayer experience, I find myself in it. We're praying for our friends, we're praying for our family, we're praying for this, we're praying for that. This is really a time on a come and see retreat for you to focus on yourself and your relationship with Christ. And seeing if this order is a good fit, seeing if maybe the convent is a good fit for you, but maybe a different order, seeing if, oh no, I can't do this, I need to go back and date again or what have you. I'm not going to give away too much about what we did, but I will say you get to meet a lot of the sisters. There's a lot of women that were on this retreat with us, and you get to meet a lot of the postulants who, you know, just had their come and see maybe last year, and you're talking to them about the different classes they're taking. You're talking to like, oh, these women also, I'm gonna be a little all over the place, but these women are so beautiful. You're like, oh my gosh, because they're not wearing makeup. That's the other thing that I loved. So on this retreat, me and the other girls who were discerning, none of us were wearing, as far as I could tell, none of us were wearing makeup. You know, we were wearing our glasses. I wear my glasses pretty much all the time now. I don't really wear contacts anymore. So we're all wearing our glasses. We're all wearing no makeup. And the women are still just so beautiful. The sisters, of course, are not wearing makeup. They're so beautiful. Some of the sisters, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did you become a sister? You didn't become a model. And I think there is still this misconception around nuns that they are mean and that they are stuffy and that they don't actually want to be nuns, that they are just women who were not able to get married, so they became a nun. That is so not the case. I don't know where that, I mean, maybe that was the case back in the Middle Ages. I don't know. But that is 100% not the case now. These women are so cheerful and so on fire and so in love for God. And the way that even their sound of their voice is just so angelic and happy. And just to experience that was such a blessing for me. If you are not local, many of the women who came to the retreat were not local. They flew in. They did have transportation to and from the airport for those women. If you are local and you can just drive, they have a big parking lot. So like me, I was able just to drive and go there. If you forget things, so for example, I forgot deodorant. They had deodorant that they could give me. They do ask for a small donation. I chipped in a few extra dollars for the donation because I forgot the deodorant, so to pay them back, I did that. But they take care of you. They're women who are there to take care of you. I'm going to link their website down below. If you're not familiar with the Sisters of Life, I don't know, have you been living under a rock? No, I'm kidding. I think there's also the misconception that sisters are very weird. That's not true. They're very normal. They are very educated. Preparing to come on this come and see retreat, I brought my journal, which bring a journal and maybe bring a spare journal because I was journaling the whole weekend. Bring a couple of pens, bring a bag to carry your journal in. Leave your phone in your car if you're driving there. Leave your phone in the car or leave your phone in your suitcase or something like that. Bring comfortable walking shoes. So I wore my Converse the entire weekend. I lived in the Converse. I lived in a comfortable either dress or skirt. I just prefer to wear dresses or skirts. Some of the girls wore jeans. I don't know. I think it's kind of nice to wear the dresses or skirts if you have them and they can be comfortable. Just, it's nice. You're in church all the time. You're in a convent, like, wear the dresses and the skirts. But that's my personal preference. I brought my Bible, which came in clutch. That's about it. If you maybe have a book on discernment, I guess you could bring that. But they have a library there, and I pulled some books from the library and was reading that during our time of silence and our time of adoration. So you have a few options, but you don't need to go crazy bringing stuff on this trip. Again, you can leave your makeup at home. I did bring like my cleanser and my moisturizer. Bring, oh, a rosary. Of course, bring your rosary. Bring your rosary. Don't forget that. But don't go crazy. You're called to live simply. No matter what a vocation is, we're called to live simply. So be simple on this retreat. All right, let me show you these clips right now. All right, you guys, I am about to leave for a come and see with the Sisters of Life. I'm wearing my Ask Jesus shirt, a black skirt, West Coast Catholic bag. I got, oh, my Bible. I forgot to bring my Bible. Okay, good. I'm gonna grab my Bible. Gosh, you can see my bathroom. This is so embarrassing, but I will not be filming when I'm on the come and see. I'm going to, oh, I'm so nervous. You guys, it's about an hour drive to Stanford, but with traffic, it's about an hour and a half. Woo, okay, I am so nervous. I don't know if I filmed anything good. But anyway, I'm probably gonna I don't know. We'll see how this video goes. I just ran into Walgreens to go use the ATM to get money for the donation for this retreat. And I left my car, that's how nervous I am. I left my car on when I ran into Walgreens. Okay. Gosh, and this is me without makeup, without contacts, without earrings. I'm wearing Little Catholic Our Lady of Perpetual Health. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go to Stanford. All right, I made it. The lighting's terrible, but I made it. I am in Stamford, Connecticut at the convent, and I'm going to be leaving my phone in the car, so I will see you on Sunday. Hello, everybody. I just finished my come and see retreat with the Sisters of Life. It was awesome. I loved it. I'm like, I'm overwhelmed right now. I've been using that adjective all weekend, overwhelmed. So I'm overwhelmed right now. I am going to drive, I think, to my parents' house because we're celebrating my dad's birthday today, even though it's tomorrow, whatever. And so I will share more about it probably there. I'm going to be compiling everything I'm thinking about together, but wow, what a weekend. Just turned my phone back on. I was so nervous. I don't know why I was so nervous to turn my phone back on. I guess because it's Sunday. I think it's around 1 o'clock right now. And I haven't had my phone since Thursday night, and I've never gone, I think, this long without having a phone or access to the internet before. So I'm nervous to look at my text messages. I'm nervous to get back into it because I've been feeling so good when I was inside those convent walls when I didn't have access to this technology, which makes me think I've really got to stay off of technology more often. But yeah, I love the Sisters of Life so much, you guys. The Sisters of Life are just amazing. It's so religious are so beautiful, and every single person in there was so smiling and cheerful and happy. And gosh, I'm so blessed that I only live an hour away from the convent because so many people had to fly in for this and everything. So anyway, I'm just happy, and I'll see you guys soon. Let's talk about why I specifically chose to discern with the Sisters of Life. Now, this is totally my thought process, my rationale. This doesn't have anything to do with you guys. Like, you might think totally differently than me, but my rationale for choosing the Sisters of Life was they are my favorite sisters that I have interacted with over the years. So my first interaction with the Sisters of Life was back in college. They would come visit us on campus at my secular university. The Newman Center and the Focus Missionaries would invite them, and they would give theology on taps talks. We even volunteered at the convent. I have bumped into them at the airport, around New York City. They come to all these great Catholic events in New York, like Catholic Underground, the Young Adult Mass, any big Catholic event, I will bump into the Sisters of Life there. They're just everywhere. They're kind of like the local sisters to me. However, there are other orders that are in this area. I have seen Daughters of St. Paul locally, Salesian Sisters, Sisters of St. Joseph, Missionaries of Charity, of course, the Franciscan Sisters of the Renewal. They're all over the place over here. So I've interacted a little bit with those sisters and orders as well, but the Sisters of Life were my favorite. I think they have the most beautiful habit. I love the Sisters of Life's habit. Like, it's so good. They show a little bit of their hair, which not all orders do. I also thought this is kind of what you did, is that you discerned with your local convent. So think about Saint Therese. If you have ever visited Lisieux, France, you go visit where she grew up, the house she grew up in. Then you walk to the convent that she spent the rest of her years in, that three of her sisters spent the rest of their years in. And Padre Pio was a short train ride away to his monastery. Mother Angelica, although she did end up in Alabama, she discerned and joined an order in Ohio. I didn't know that women from all over the country and all over the world would be part of the Sisters of Life. That was really cool. It was all over the United States were the other girls who were discerning with me, and one girl was even from out of the country. The Sisters of Life are made up of all these different countries. So cool, so awesome. So I don't know. That was a misconception on my part. However, I do believe that if I did live somewhere else, I probably would have chosen to discern with the Sisters of Life because they're really big and famous right now. You know, if you go on Ascension Presents, you'll see Sister Faustina talking about the Litany of Trust. The Litany of Trust is huge. I mean, look, it's wonderful. They give talks all over the place. I mean, when I was in college, again, Seek, the keynote address for women was given by Sister Mary Gabriel, gave this beautiful talk. I think I can link it down below. I will. So they're just big and rising up right now. They're such a growing order. So I think I would have discerned with them anyway, even if I didn't grow up in this area. I love their charism of life, of helping the unborn who need it the most. I definitely feel drawn to that charism. And you know, maybe this experience for me, discerning with the Sisters of Life, was my opportunity to get more involved in pro-life ministry at my local parish and everywhere else. That is definitely something that is on my radar now that maybe wasn't there before. I think you can figure out, I discerned to not become a Sister of Life. At this time, I don't think I'm called to the convent. That does not mean that I will not be called later. It means I probably will not be called later, but it does not mean I will not be called later. If you look at some of the saints, such as Saint Rita. Saint Rita was married and had children, and then became a nun, became a sister many years later. I have a friend of my grandfather's who became a priest at a very advanced age. He might have even been in his 70s when he became a priest. He was very old when he became a priest. So you never know. There are later vocations out there. So at this time, I am not called to the convent. Obviously, at this time, I'm not called to marriage. I am called to discern. And that what was really beautiful about the Come and See retreat is at the end of the retreat, the last talk they gave us was advice for discerning your vocation, no matter what it is. And I really needed that because towards the middle end of the retreat, I knew I wasn't called to the convent, and it's sad because it's a beautiful vocation. I'm almost, I'm jealous of the sisters that they're called to this beautiful vocation, and I'm not called to it right now, which bums me out. And I'm not called to the vocation of marriage right now, obviously, since I'm not dating anyone. I haven't dated anyone in quite a while. They made it clear that this was not a breakup with Jesus, right? I literally felt right before I was going into a meeting with the vocational assistant that I was being broken up with by Jesus, that Jesus was almost rejecting me as a spouse, sort of thing, which is absolutely not the case. That was just some anxiety and some fear and just all this emotion building up. Jesus has not rejected me. Jesus loves me very, very much. He loves all of us very, very much. He has not broken up with me. I will admit, I do wish I had done the Come and See maybe right after college. I wish I had done it when I was younger, so that I would have just not been guessing all these years, waiting, oh, when am I going to get asked to go on a Come and See? When is that discernment process going to happen? Everything like that. And I just want to remind you, I have a friend. I've talked about her on Instagram before. I haven't talked about her on YouTube. I have a friend who is a consecrated celibate. She has taken her vows of celibacy for the kingdom of God. I have not asked her permission to share this story because she is currently serving as a missionary in Brazil right now, does not have access to her cell phone, so I can't give too many specifics about it. She loves her vocation of celibacy. And all of the sisters of life, they love their vocations of being a sister of life. And married people, if you are married to the right person, you love your vocation of marriage. And that's why I want every woman to understand, you're not going to be called to be a sister or a nun or a consecrated virgin or what have you. You're not going to be called to a vocation that you hate. I think that's a really big misconception, that women are called to join the convent who don't want to be, who hate the convent. That's not the case. You are going to be called, if you discern properly, and again, you have to discern properly because there are so many Catholic women who, unfortunately get married to the wrong person and it winds up in divorce. Unfortunately, that does happen. There are practicing Catholic couples who unfortunately wind up in divorce court. But you are going to be called, the vocation you choose, the vocation you're called to, you will love. You will love your vocation. And you need to choose to love it. Of course, like there will definitely be times when you're in marriage that you're not going to be loving being married. There are definitely times, I'm sure, in the convent they're not going to be loving to be sisters and be under obedience and everything like that. So you're not going to always love it, but you're going to know. You're going to know you were called to marry that man. You're going to know you were called to be a sister. You're going to know you're meant to join that order. I mean, there are so many times, I know it's controversial for singleness to be a vocation. I do believe singleness is a temporary vocation for me. There's so many times in my singleness that I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. That there's so many times that I know I'm called currently to be single. I've had so many conversations that I would not have had if I was married or in a convent that helped a person. I mean, like this YouTube channel, I don't think I would have this YouTube channel if I was married. I don't think I definitely wouldn't have it if I was in a convent. So it's where I'm supposed to be right now, and I am very confident in that this is where I'm supposed to be right now. I don't know where I'll be in a year from now. I don't know where I'll be in 10 years from now, but nobody does. Like, that's just the thing. Nobody does, because if you are in a convent, you don't know, okay, I'm going to be stationed at this house 1 year. Am I going to be moved to another one a year from now? If you are married, you don't know, okay, I'm married right now. Will I have a child a year from now? My husband and I have to move a year from now? What's going to happen? Nobody knows. We're not guaranteed anything in life. We're not even guaranteed tomorrow. We don't know where we're going to end up. So it's a wild ride out there. I want to ask you guys to keep the Sisters of Life in your prayers. Oh, and I want to say one more thing. So I told, I think, a few close friends that I was going to be doing this come and see retreat with the Sisters of Life. And every single one of them, we all agreed that the Sisters of Life have the best food. If you are going on a retreat with the Sisters of Life, they have the best food, because so many retreats that you go on, the food is not that great, or the accommodations are not that. Actually, most of the retreats I've been on, the accommodations have been pretty good. Sisters of Life, very clean, very good accommodations. It's in this beautiful convent in Stamford, Connecticut. The food is fantastic. If you are gluten-free, dairy-free, they were giving you out gluten-free and dairy-free options. So they take care of you. Women know how to take care of you. They're so young. The Sisters of Life, it's a very young order. The order is only about, I think, 32 or 33 years old. It's a very young order. So most of the sisters, there are older sisters, but of course most of the sisters are very young. And you just gotta think, if this is the direction that the church is going in with these young women, we are in such good hands. Of course, we need the young priests too, but all the young priests I met, we're in such good hands. This generation of the younger millennials, the Gen Z who are coming up right now, I really think we're gonna have just good years of the church are yet to come. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little crazy vlog, sit down commentary video on my experience with the Come and See. I absolutely recommend it to any young woman who is considering discerning or seriously discerning, whatever. If you were just thinking about becoming a sister, definitely talk to someone, find out what order might be a good fit for you, do some research, reach out and see what God has in store for you. And just remember, not all women are called to be sisters. If the idea of becoming a sister of any order just freaks you out, scares you and terrifies you, and you're crying and crying and crying and you don't want to do it, you feel so called to marriage, you're not called to be a sister. So don't freak out. These women who are sisters, they are so at peace with their decision to be sisters. They are so in love with their vocation. They love their vocation. You will love your vocation. Just discern properly. Please, ladies, please take the time to discern any vocation properly. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and hit the bell and hit subscribe so you never miss one of my videos. I love you guys. Bye.